Hello, dear friend. Here we are. Wisdom for the Spiritist Practitioner. This is day 2, chapter 2 of the book Educandário de Luz. This book is titled in Portuguese, written originally in Portuguese, but coming about in English as we speak. Carlos Diaz and I are working on the translation and the revision, and we're here with you at Kardec Radio in this coming 40 nights total, going through the messages that Chico Xavier received by many spirits, from Dr. Bezerra de Menezes to Emmanuel, André Luiz, Brother X, and many others. It's a true guideline for those who would like to be instructed as a Spiritist practitioner. Nowadays, we have several messages in this world regarding Spiritism and its universal topics to the world. The only thing that we are missing here, what is it? You know it. Instructions for the Spiritist practitioner. And we're talking about instructions because we have books, magazine, but a book like this one is unprecedented. So we think Educandário de Luz, like Educational Institute of Light, is really unique and gives us perfect guidelines for those who are willing to form a group. You may be asking, why do I need to form a group? Can I do it by myself? Can I just read the books and, share with friends and family? Of course you can. But according to the law of society, we are supposed to form communities. Communities that are organized and are practicing these principles, applying them, and helping others. A Spiritist group encompasses the relationship with the discarnate realm. Many groups in the world nowadays are summed up in activities in the physical realm. But without the mediumistic component, ostensibly saying, we cannot be assured or guarantee that it's going to secure the foundation of what we need. We need mediumistic communications. Okay, as Kardec says in the Medium's book, if we don't interact with the spiritual realm in an ostensible way through mediumistic meetings, we're just creating theoretical groups that are only good in theory. In practice, we're still far away from actually the practice of Spiritism. Okay, so we're talking about a group that requires this interaction amongst the incarnates and the discarnates, right? And I know you're there. I can see all of you. I can see Ana Augusta. How are you? My friend Luis Hu with Ana Augusta. Katia. Andrea Torres is here. Rihanna, beautiful Rihanna. Nico, the South Africa group doing amazing works. Teresa Castro. Adilson. Soon seeing you there, my friends. Jussara is here. Sunshine is here with us as well. Hipólito, how are you? Lívia Moraes, how are you, Lívia? Nina, how are you, friends? Well, according to the spirits, they are saying it's inevitable that this will expand to other parts of the world. And we just see, I've been in the United States for almost 20 years, and I just see the spread of these groups and in the world as well. So it's a progressive science that really expands as we speak, no matter the hardships on the earth and no matter how material science expands. Nothing contradicts the science of the spirits. On the contrary, the science of the earth is daily proving the many concepts and the revelations that were brought into Spiritism. So you and I will see more than ever before the spread of Spiritist groups in this world. And if you are living in a part of the world where there's no group, maybe life is calling you to team up with people, starting in your family, groups of friends, and do it. Just do it, friends. I remember in Baltimore, almost 20 years ago, there were no Spiritists, to my knowledge. And when I invited Jorge Godinho Neri, who is the current president of the Brazilian Spiritist Federation, he was living here in the United States at the time, and his wife to join me, he asked me, do you know other Spiritists? And I answered, I don't, but I will. I got a list of Brazilians, a list of Brazilian phone numbers, and I started calling in and saying, we're going to start this meeting this Saturday, October 19th. If you want to come, this is the address, come. And who came? A couple and another lady, and us. 3 months later, we had 30 people. We moved to a room at University of Maryland that I used to work with. I used to work in. And there we spent many years. And from there on, it's just history. Go to the ssbaltimore.org website and you see the history. And later we opened a group here in Virginia, the Spirit side of Virginia. That's how it happens. It happens naturally. When you read the book Paul and Stephen, you see the spread of these teachings go person to person. If you think of creating a group of 1,000 people before you actually open it, it's not gonna happen. So that's why we're reading chapter 2 of this book, Educandário de Luz. Today the message is the perfect group, talking about perfect group, thinking about creating a perfect group. I know Carol Correa is here with us. Thank you, Carol. And Angelita de Paula, Michele Silva, Ceissa, beautiful Ceissa too, Erica, beautiful Erica. Friends, the message today is perfect for those who are thinking about forming the perfect group. All right? All right? You ready for it? I am. The perfect group. I'm going to read it to you from Brother X. You know who Brother X is? Brother X is the pseudonym of the spirit Humberto de Campos, the author of the book Good News through Chico Xavier. This is the guy this is the teacher, and I say guy kindly, not undermining him, but saying he's our coach tonight, okay? Let us allow him to coach us, our thoughts and feelings, so we can, sooner than later, adjust ourselves and fulfill God's will on earth as it already is in heaven. Hello, Claudinha and Rudy, present, making the present pleasant, right? And Lisa Teles. You're right, Nina. Nothing is without reason. And the storms of the earth are coming in to shake us up so we can wake up for what needs to be done. And this is one of the things we need to do. The perfect group, Brother X. The spirit Julio Marquis commended the small group with discretion and kindness. He was a patient leader of a tiny flock of Christian spiritual companions. Twice a week, manifested through the medium Mrs. Maria Paula, he guided his friends in the gospel activities. Tenderness allied with experience, firmness coupled with self-denial. Conflicts and moral difficulties echoed him in a particular way, drawing from him words enlightened with benevolence and candor, slipping into the wounded people as balm of hope. On one of the nights when we shared his responsibility, as simple, unnoticed backstage worker, we noticed the presence of a young lady in the assistance. She was identified as Mrs. Clara. Smart and distinct lady, she exposed her thoughts in a spontaneous conversation, unsatisfied and inquisitive. As soon as she noticed Marquis closing the edifying remark, she asked him a question point blank. "Brother Julius, may I ask for your guidance?" The interpellated answered humbly, "I am too deficient for such. However, I am in this house to serve." And she continued, "I want to form a Spiritist group according to my ideal. Do you think I can hope for it?" "No doubt about it," he answered. "We're all called to the work of the Lord." "But Brother Julius, I want to organize a circle of elevated and sincere individuals who only think of the virtue practiced, only of the virtue practiced." "Great purpose," he answered. "Well, an institution in which people get together with a strict sense of inner purity. There will be no selfishness, no irritation, no incomprehension, no strife." "Yes, my daughter." And she continued, "A society where all associates vibrate the standard of the gospel. Simple and immaculate people who do not find any obstacle to the harmony of coexistence. True apostles of the good. Are you, Brother Julius, listening to me?" "Yes, my daughter. Please continue." She continues, "I am longing for a community that is dedicated to spiritual achievements without the slightest disturbance. The mediums will be crystalline mental mirrors depicting the word from on high, like transparent lakes reflecting the sun. The directors will govern the tasks in the position of exquisite souls, capable of all the sacrifices for the cause of truth, and the co-workers, correct and conscious, will integrate the team, unified by unconditional way through the principles of our doctrine of light." Brother Julius then exclaimed, "Sublime plan." She continued, "The environment will remain the living source of peace and wisdom, in which the discarnated righteous will feel at ease to minister to humanity the teachings of the higher spheres, with the security of those who use the irreproachable instrumentation." "Yes, yes," said Brother Julius. "I aspire the creation of a group that does not know imperfections and weaknesses, problems and frictions." He then said, "May God hear us." "Among the walls of the organization that are proposed to raise, no one will have room for malice or discouragement. Everything will be tranquility and joy. There will be no discords." Brother Julius then said, "Well, may the Lord protect us." "A temple to be built on the basis of co-workers who will never descend from their own nobility, to offer a permanent spectacle of heaven on earth for the exaltation of charity." "Yes, yes," said Brother Julius. Observing that the spiritual friend did not extend from short notes, without stating open opinions, Mrs. Clara emphasized, "Can I count on you, Brother Julius?" "Oh, daughter, I do not feel empowered to do so." "And why would that be?" Brother Julius then answered, "I am too imperfect. I am still very attached to the earth." "But we have received so many teachings from your mouth." He said, "These teachings do not belong to me. They come from the mentors who pity my inadequacy. They spring forth in my phrase like the flower that rises from a cracked vase. Do not confuse the seed that is divine with the land that is sometimes nothing but mud." So, Brother Julius, do you still have struggles to overcome? "My daughter, you do not know that I have a wife who remains as a widow in painful old age. I have a son in the psychiatric ward, an obsessed son-in-law, 2 grandchildren in a correctional institute. My daughter-in-law tried suicide twice yesterday. Such the hardships and trials in which they find themselves. I must attend to the ones the Lord have given me. My past debts are mixed with theirs. That's why there are times when I feel fatigued, sad. I see myself daily in need of prayer and work to reestablish my own state of mind. As you can see, although discarnated, I suffer disappointments and despondency that do not always make me a wanted companion." "Oh, is that so?" asked Mrs. Clara. "Yeah, why not, my daughter? We're all evolving, learning." Mrs. Clara reflected for a moment and returned to the charge. "But somewhere there will certainly be an impeccable association. Say it, Brother Julius, do you know of any team without defect like the one that I want to form? And if you know it, where is it?" Fully connected to the medium, the spirit friend also thought for a moment and replied with the pure naivety that had been his characteristic so far, "Yes, my daughter, such a perfect group must exist. It must certainly be the group of our Lord Jesus Christ." You're ready to form a group now, or you're going to be waiting for the perfect group? It doesn't exist. The little experience that we have in 2-3 groups here and there and supporting others in the last 20 years, sincerely, it doesn't exist. People will come and go, but it doesn't matter. What matters is you. If you stay, if you continue, because people will always come. And the people who go, we feel for them. You know why? And I say go not in the sense they discarnated, that they quit their share. Because when they do so, they are just going to be postponing the inevitable journey of their ascension. But if I quit, that's my problem. Whenever I give up on works of the good, my conscience is going to ring and say, "Alert, alert. We have a red warning here. Alert system. We need you to fix it." Yes, this is the inner. We always need, there's no perfect group. So we need to connect, because we're not perfect either. How can I dare to want to form a perfect group if I am imperfect? It's not coherent, right? Right, John the Rose, how are you? And Julija. And Chusara is saying, what matters is that we keep on doing the best we can, no quitting. Exactly. It's not easy, but what are we here for? But to persist and learn to be resilient, to be enduring, and to be also courageous. Yes, and you need to think of the local community where your center is. A strong center has roots locally. What do I mean? Look at Chico Xavier. Chico Xavier succeeded not only because of his inner discipline and many other factors, but because he first cared about his local community. He didn't reach out to others forgetting about the local. So we urge that all groups that are being formed, that you find the communities around you and what they need from your group. Like, for example, let me give you a strong example in the United States. There is a center in Charlotte, in North Carolina, that is led by Haiti Patrick. They just bought their lands. They bought the headquarters. But the beauty of it all is that they have local roots. They talk to the neighbors in their city. They know what the food bank needs. The food bank knows of their existence. And it's just like what we're doing in Chantilly, Virginia, what we've done in Baltimore. We reach out to the local shelters. We reach out to the local pregnant moms, the single moms, the adolescent moms, because these are the roots of the group. We cannot, some people, they have groups everywhere in the world and their heads are in Brazil. That doesn't happen, my friends. You need roots where you are. You need to connect your Spiritist group with the needs of the community where the group is. Yes, because even in the United States of America and wherever you are in the world, there is all sorts of misery, from emotional, spiritual to physical. And it's on us to reach out. Right, Renata? How are you? There's no center in Iowa? You know, if you got it, remember, there is the United States Spiritist Federation to support you. Kardec Radio is also here to support you. And there are many friends here to support you as well. Okay, so count on all of us. Hello, Luciana and Tuani. Sunshine is back. Can we go a little bit back to the message? One of the things that we want to do is observe the emotional components of it all. When the spirits in the Spirit's book published by Allan Kardec, they say that the most critical vices are based on pride and selfishness. In this lady here, Mrs. Clara, we find a lot of pride and a lot of selfishness. My group. How many people are like this? My group. I remember Mentor Joseph telling me, Vanessa, today you're here, tomorrow you're there. There's not my group. You need to belong to the group and help, but not forgetting about the needs of others. And one of the things that the mentors have been saying, look at Chico Xavier. He always had a group, but he never traveled begging for money for the causes of his. Never, ever, ever. I will repeat to you. Chico Xavier never worked in a selfish and egotistic manner. Never. What do I mean by it? Wherever he traveled in the world, he never sold his books to bring the money to his... I'm going to say something that is critical, but we must restore the order. I have no right to leave the Spiritist side of Virginia and bring books elsewhere and bring this money back to Virginia without thinking of the group that I'm visiting. That is called selfishness and pride, because I'm leaving a statement. My group, my organization is more important than yours. And I'm using a sister Spiritist center to benefit my group, just like Mrs. Claire. We need to put a stop on this. We can help groups and organizations, but people need to be conscientious that the groups that they visit have the same and probably more, if you are out of Brazil, as Chico said in a letter that I have here with me, published in the Spiritist magazine. He wrote to Haddad in North Carolina. He said, Haddad, do not donate your money to Spiritist centers in Brazil. Actually, Brazil is supposed to be donating the money to the Spiritist Center in the United States of America. And to date, we have people in the United States of America or in other parts of the world that are disbursing funds after funds after funds after funds to help causes around the world, forgetting that if tomorrow they don't have their own headquarters, those Spiritist centers are gonna die. We can reach out, but we shall never prioritize our center versus somebody else's center. And if I'm visiting centers, I say this because it's becoming a common practice. People come from here, there, and elsewhere, and they have their causes, but we do too. Our centers are also non-profit organizations, as important as any other organization in this world. And if we don't have this collaboration, like Chico Xavier, you know what he would do? He would travel and he would give the copyright of his books to raise funds for the groups and the organizations that he was visiting. We wish the current Spiritist authors of books would do the same, right? We wish. But we have no right to think that our group is more important. Like Mrs. Clara, she's thinking here that her group is going to be the most special one. It's pride, right? Hey, Leo Vieira is here, my brother. How are you? And Osvaldo, Erika from Brazil, thank you for being with us. Yes, Renata, we need roots. Josiah is saying the United States Spiritist Federation has a program called Lighthouse Project to help people start a study group in their areas. Write to us, okay? Go to the website, thank you, Josara, spiritist.us. And you see, Renata, she's saying they can help in Iowa, okay? Thank you, Josara. That's the spirit. That's the spirit. Okay, friends? So, I remember, I will confess to you, there was a time when I was in Baltimore, and Leo is here, he's a witness. We loved the Spiritist side of Baltimore so much, so much, so much, that we were thinking, oh, the Spirit side of Baltimore, the Spirit side of Baltimore, until one day the mentor said, stop it. No Spiritist center is more important than the other. No Spiritist center should compete with others. No Spiritist center should demand for special attention in any way and regard. No Spiritist organization, if it's really working through the guidance of the Christian teachings, should not request any special attention. Centers and centers need to collaborate with one another. A center is fundraising, and we've got to know, why not? At the Spirit Side of Virginia, we always donate, always collaborate with the Spiritist Federation in the United States. We collaborate with sister centers in the United States, donating books, donating funds, etc. Of course, we are not wealthier, but why should I keep the funds only to my center, thinking that my center is the priority, the single priority? I'm not saying anything else but what Brother X is saying to us. There is no outstanding perfect group. Okay? Sylvia, you're here, my friend. It's interesting when she was describing what she wanted. And this is the emotional component that we want to develop more than anything else. Here she's saying, we want people who are elevated, who are sincere, who have this inner purity, who don't have emotional oscillations. On earth, dream about it, because it's not going to happen that soon. No wonder Kardec said we need tolerance and solidarity. One day we will be doing well. The next day we need to be tolerated too, to be understood. The same for our friends. They come in today, they're not doing well, but hey, forgive and forget and move on. Move on. We can't hold on to grudges. Sometimes we see sensitivities in Spiritist groups amongst its members, and the ones from the beyond, they push those buttons like, did you see the way this person talked to me? Ah, see, they only care about that person, nothing about me. They don't care about me. They don't give attention to me. That's called jealousy. Jealousy exists, but you know, in the Medium's book, item 341, because the Medium's book is divided in items, 341, we're going to have a list of conditions through which we will find the conditions of connecting to elevated spirits in a center. Number 1, perfect commonality of sentiments and ideas. When he says perfect, it's like people are striving to make it happen. No feelings against one another. I cannot look at people and be sarcastic, ironic, or passive-aggressive. We see a lot of passive aggression in Spiritist Center sometimes. You know what it is? It's like this. The coordinator says, let's, I'm just saying in a funny way, silly, let's tomorrow wake up at 7 a.m. And people say, yeah, okay, we will. And then the coordinator wakes up at 7, is in the center, and then only 2 people out of 10 show up. And then you talk to the group later. What happened? You know, it was too early for me. But you said you would. Yeah, but... So it's like there is no courage to actually reveal themselves. And when they are being asked to do something, they don't want to comply. They sometimes even gossip with one another, saying, did you see what he or she said? That's crazy. They're dreaming about it. It's never going to happen. So those things, they will happen, but they shouldn't happen. So what do? We need to be patient and tolerant, because those who persist will be connected with the higher spirits. It's all about vibrations. You cannot fake it. But another thing we want to mention here is when she says about people who coexist in harmony. That is not a given. It's a construction. Harmony is a construction. A good exercise that we will share with you is this. Visualize your group in harmony. Visualize everybody getting together and respecting, mutual respect, as Dr. Bezerra de Menezes mentioned yesterday. Visualize it. Remember Emmanuel saying we need to visualize the good to manifest the good. So put your hand here you know, almost close to your chakra, the heart chakra, and do exercises for yourself as you belong to these communities. Like Renata, you want to open a group, you count on the help, but tell yourself, I am in harmony with the group that will be forming and is forming as we speak. I am patient. We are kind to one another. We are very courageous in our diligent tasks to be fulfilled. We love working with the Christ. Can we repeat the last one? Mainly this last one. I love working with the Christ. I love working with the Christ on the earth. Jesus, that makes us feel light. He said, you are light. And in the area, in her song, she says, I am light, I am light. Yes, we are light. We are light. We just need to let it shine. Yeah, these are not mere words, they are true affirmations. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. But do not demand. Mrs. Clara in this message was demanding something she could not deliver. She herself was not being patient or tolerant or fraternal, but she was dreaming of a group that would. And the question is, how is she going to coordinate a group if she can't? Right? Yeah? So mediums that are crystalline mental mirrors of the spirits, come on, where can we find that? Huh? And you think many people, even though they loved Chico Xavier, many people still doubted his mediumship, including some Spiritist scholars. You think it was easy for him when he psychographed André Luiz's book No Solar? Many people thought those, and I know Spiritists to date, who say, Vanessa, you know, André Luiz's books, think it's too much of a fiction. And they are Spiritists. And they study Spiritism. And I say, hey, do you doubt anything that came from Chico Xavier after all that he's done? When we doubt that, we're doubting our own capacity. When we doubt the potential of others, deep inside, we're limiting our own selves. If you put, you know, like the movies, the cop movies, I remember a long time ago, I don't watch those anymore. When we were children, inevitably, I had 4 brothers, we were watching it. You know, when they wanted to handcuff somebody, they would put the shackle in one hand and connect to them on the other hand. Yeah, they imprisoned the other person, but they were imprisoning themselves. So when I limit the potential and the divine in others, I am limiting myself. I am limiting myself. When I say, no, those people are not capable, I'm telling to myself, I'm not capable of that either. Because when we are striving to really boost our potential, we can see the potential in everyone. So harmony is a construction. Harmony is a construction. Harmony is a construction. And it begins with me. Yes. Peace begins with me. Harmony begins within me. And he says, you only find that group with Jesus' team. Another level. On the earth, even the mentors that guide our groups, they are spirits that are evolving just like us, more evolved than us, but still evolving. They also have loved ones who are in need of help, just like us. Have you thought about this? Adilson, hello Aiden. Hello Fernanda, welcome friend. Adilson is saying, at the Inner Enlightenment Spirit Society, we pray together at 10 p.m. for 1 month every night. Then we take some months break and do it again. It helps to harmonize our relationship between workers and develop a strong bond with the spiritual guides. Over the years, the little seeds will germinate love. That's a beautiful practice. And you're right, Adilson. I remember Godinho mentioning to us, saying, you know, whenever needed in regards to reinforce harmonization, put a pause on mediumistic meetings, like maybe once every now and then, and do harmonization prayers like Adilson is saying. So we emanate the harmony to the group. But we need to observe that a group, there is one head, arms, ears, eyes, but one head, in both spiritual and material. I've never read in any of the Spiritist books a Spiritist group that has 2 presidents, 2 coordinators in the spiritual and the material. Usually there is one that is mainly assigned and a team that works together in both realms. So if you want a group to succeed, be courageous to be a leader. To be a leader, you need to be courageous. Not because you're the best, but because you were invited to take the lead. So be it. Be the one. And you know, if somebody else comes later, pass the torch. But if you have to be it, do it. That false modesty, no, I don't want to be the leader. I don't want to be the president. That's false modesty. Because this is not a position. This is work. And work has to be done, so be it. It's not about, I don't want to be. A Spiritist center needs order, needs roles. And we need, in order to create harmony, to respect the order. Says the Spirit Mentor to André Luiz in the book Action and Reaction. Order is the basis of charity. And to wrap it up, even the mentor here, Julius, says to Mrs. Clara, the teachings you've been hearing from me in mediumistic meetings, they don't come from me, they come from higher spirits. We're always being the instruments of instruments of instruments of instruments. It's a beautiful chain of instruments of God at different levels. As André Luiz says in the book, Evolution in 2 Worlds. Co-creators at minor level, co-creators at a major level. But at the end of the day, we're all co-creators. We're all instruments of the divine. Together, we can certainly do it. So I'm going to ask you a question as we wrap up for today. Are you still waiting for the perfect group? No, right? So go on. As a cartoon character that I've come to know, he says, go be amazing. Go, friends, be amazing and enjoy the ride of good works with Jesus Christ with order, discipline, commitment. But don't forget, you're not alone. We have here each other. If you're in the United States, you have the United States Spiritist Federation. If you are elsewhere in the world, count on Kardec Radio, and we'll connect you to the local coordinations of each country, and hopefully to the International Spiritist Council. Okay, friends, a big hug. And don't forget, you are light, you are light. Yes, we are light, we are light. And just before we finish, Sunshine is asking, where can we find a clear explanation of the difference between Kardecism and Spiritism? In the Spiritist magazine. We have an article that talks about it. I'll find the issue for you and send it to you, Sunshine. Okay? Big hug, friends, and until tomorrow. And you know, another spirit, illuminated spirit, will come to share the news with us. Thank you.